operated in the Roman Empire back when the Greeks were there doing their thing, because they were all over the Greek Empire. And the Romans inherited the Jews. And they got along and they didn't get along, like all empires. But then eventually the Romans said, this is just too much. These people are crazy. And we have to do all our legions down in the middle of our empire when we need them out. And they out there continually expand them up there in Europe and Asia. So let's just get rid of the Jews. And that's exactly what they did. Christianity was birthed in the Jewish-Roman wars. And Christianity was another way of being Jewish. Yeah, get this. The Jesus people said, we're the new Jews. The Jesus people said, we're claiming the Abrahamic covenant. We're the real thing. We're the new and the real thing. And the new and the real thing don't look like anything of the old. Now, this was an outrageous statement, because then they say, prove it. Who's your hero? Jesus. Who was he? Dead Jew on a tree. Say what? Dead Jew on a tree. You know, Jews on trees in the first century were common. Common as the mosquito in the summer. They were being hanged all over the empire, city after city. To say you have a religion that's taking the place of the Jews, that's the best religion in the world, and your hero is a dead Jew on a tree in the first century, that was a hard sell. Now, jump 2,000 years ahead, and here we are. Pretend you're a young Frank Cordaro reading the book, or a young person yourself for the first time, and you're learning about this radical Jesus, this new Jew, and what it means to be the kingdom of God, and then say, how do we do this in the United States? And let me tell you, it's no easier to sell a dead Jew on a tree in the first century than it ever has. It's still very hard, but in America, it's especially hard with a double whammy, because the worst people you have to address are the people who say they're following Jesus. It's difficult. You know what? I've lived my life trying to win. Now I just want to be faithful. All right, Jane, Iowa college student. What is your responsibility towards the environment? Jane, everything. When we say the Our Father, we say, Our Father who art in heaven, get this line, hallowed be thy name. Well, that phrase means that we want to make holy all things that God has created for us. So in theory, Christians hold the environment up like they hold a temple. Treat it like a temple because it's part of God's creation. So what's my position on the environment? We're missing the boat. We're destroying the planet. Look, kids, I'm going to die of old age. Chances are you all may die of some kind of mass extinction because of the way we treat the planet. So what's my position on the responsibility of the planet? It's everything. If we don't take care of the planet, it's sort of like poisoning the womb, and the baby's going to die. That's how we're playing with the human race. It's not good. All right. Taylor Evans. I want to be a 20-year-old successful college student who every day they will eventually become an elementary teacher. That's cool. That's cool. Teaching kids. That's cool. What are your... Oh my gosh, can you read this? I thought I could. What am I most passionate about? All right. I'm going to have you guys answer. You've been listening to me rant and rave for about 50 minutes. What do you think this guy's most passionate about? Jesus. Thank you. I told you I was a crazy Jesus, people. All right, Sal, a 26-year-old hipster. Hey, I'm all for that. What do you think is the reason for the government pushing out the homeless and punishing them? Well, the reason is we value rich people. And rich people don't like homeless people who have attitudes, and they should be punished. Don't you think that's what's going on? Right? I mean, I didn't see the mayor take any homeless people home with him. I didn't take any of those council people take people home with them. I don't see the insurance companies coming out of their work said, we're gonna do something for the homeless. No, are you kidding? They just like to make them disappear. That's what I think. I think the government would like them to disappear, and they act like that, and they put them in jail, and they're going to criminalize them, and just, aren't we awful people?
Then we get more free slave labor.
What's that?
Then we get more free slave labor.
Yeah. Eva Bertini. Oh, is am I done? Or this is the...
You've got 13 more minutes. These are the criminal justice kids that ended at 2:30. So you've got 15 more minutes.
Thank you.
Good
Come
one.
visit us. You know, it's I just rented a Raven. Come see if we really do it. Thank you. So, this is Eva. What do you think about this year's voting?
Hold on, Frank. I think you might have had a question here.
Oh, where?
I just have a question before we leave. So since you have a strong opinion about like war and stuff, what is like what's your opinion about like our politics today? Like, you know, since we have a woman running for office and right now.
Okay, good question. You know, I've been saying for so many years. I just came to this conclusion about presidents. Who is the worst president this country has ever had? And what I have come to the conclusion is, given the way in which we're interfacing with the environment and the planet, and how we're dead set on bringing the human race to an end and polluting everything. I mean, doesn't it seem like that? It sure does to me. We're hell bent on doing this. I've come to the conclusion that every president becomes the worst president ever, because simply the next 4 years will make the scene so much worse, and it keeps getting worse and worse quantitatively. Okay, having said that, I lived through Donald Trump's presidency like you guys did. Now you may like him, but me, I'm looking at this guy and say, this isn't anything about the Republicans or the Democrats. This is about a candidate who's from New York City. He's a real estate magnate. You know, the scum of the world are from New York City. We all know that. And real estate people are really, they got a terrible reputation. And he is not even liked by those people because he's so bad. He's got such a terrible personal life. I mean, how would we want to implement? Would you like to say follow Donald Trump as your example, son, on how you want to live your life? No one's doing that. I mean, they used to put up presidents that you could at least believe they had some characters. I mean, I like the idea of, electing a president who sounds like an altar boy, but acts like a warlord. I mean, that's what we usually get. And he's real, I mean, I'm just not very, so ugly. Having said that, we've had this guy named Biden as our president since him. And this guy pulled out all of the U.S. troops out of Afghanistan, which was the whole Middle East thing was just been a terrible bundling thing. This guy pushes the Russians to start a war in Ukraine, and this guy is supporting the Israelis in one of the worst, awful kind of massacres, destruction, genocide in most recent history. And I go like, I didn't like Trump, but my old adage, every president becomes the worst president. As far as I'm concerned, Biden is the worst president ever. And whoever gets in that seat, Pamela, I like her. I mean, I like her because I like Obama. I did. And that was when the Occupy Wall Street was going on. We were in one of those demonstrations and all that stuff. That was great. And the line was, the Occupy movement was just what Obama needed to win the election. Well, maybe that was true, but let me tell you, the Occupy movement was looking to change the economic order of this country. What we got with Obama was a guy who bailed out all the rich people when the economy tanked. Do you remember that? So I mean, we didn't go out in the streets so we can elect a guy named Obama so we can save capitalism, but that's what's happened. What will Pamela do? Well, Pamela, I'm sorry, I may not have her name right. I'll get it down. I'm going to hold my reservation, but it don't look good. I mean, she just looks like more of the same. I mean, she'll look a lot better. She'll act a lot better. Hey, I know she's a better human being, but I'm not sure we're going to have a better president. All right. That was the question. Good.
Thank you.
You got it.
Okay.
Come visit us. What do you think about this year's voting? Oh, how do you feel about it? What are your main concerns about all of this? I mean, look, I'm an anarchist, but I still think, I'm a functional anarchist. It's kind of a funny thing. But I have not seen a government I can really embrace. I'm a functional anarchist. Voting is a responsibility of being a citizen. That's what I say. And it's the least responsibility. Like, if you just vote, and that's all you do, it's sort of like playing poker. You want to win at a poker game. You don't pick up the cards and put in the ante unless you're going to try to win. That's poker, right? But try to imagine winning at poker or winning at being a democracy when all you do is put in the ante. You guys know anything about poker? You put in the ante, you get to pick up the 5 cards. You look at the cards, you throw some down, you get some back, you do some betting, and then at the end, you show your cards and see if you win. Now, if you were playing poker at your neighborhood poker place, and you went in there, and you played, and all you ever did was put in an ante. Never pick up the cards, never read them, never bet on them, are you gonna win at poker? So if all you do is vote and think you're doing a good job and you're fulfilling your citizenship, you're fooling yourself. You're never going to win. So voting to me is like, I got 5 minutes. I'll go and vote. I'll hold my nose. I'll vote whatever I think, but I don't believe in any of it. And my responsibility as a citizen is to do the hard work of changing the country through my deeds and actions. And this country has a wonderful tradition called civil disobedience and protest. I fully have embraced that. I spend a lot more time doing that, believe me, than I have voting every year. So I think voting is way out of proportion to what we ought to be doing individually as citizens. All right. Annalise, an 18-year-old college kid just trying to do her best. Okay, what made have such a position for how do you recruit people? Oh, that's what she asked. How do you recruit people? I come and talk at places like this. Come visit us. It's worth a visit, at least. What are the ways you are getting your organization message to those who don't know? Probably not good enough. We have a newsletter. We used to have better standing in the Catholic Church. At the moment, when I read all that ecumenical, interfaith, non-denominational, we're for women's priest. And you'd think the bishop thought we shot somebody. Can't get the bishop to make a statement about wealth. I can't get the bishop to make a statement about war. I can't get the bishop to make a statement about the empire. But our community embraced women's ordination.